This is your Tuesday, November 15th, 28storms.com tropical weather update. Today's early morning surface analysis shows that we have a cold front draped across portions of the southern plains, but that is not tropical in nature. And we have the intertropical convergence zone suppressed well to the south in the deep tropics, but we do have a 1009 millibar surface low associated with it just to the south of Central America, now into the eastern Pacific. Today's visible satellite animation shows that nothing is well organized in the deep tropics. However, we do have some isolated convection across the central Atlantic. None of this is showing any organization at this time. However, if it persists for several days, then it may be monitored a little bit more closely for subtropical development. But the much more vigorous low, at least at the surface, is the one still in the eastern Pacific. The only problem with that one is that it's really lacking anything in the way of significant convection. And again, this is because we have a lot of dry air, and it's going to take several days if this system will develop, if at all. Otherwise, the upper level winds are generally favorable, so this will continue to be the main feature as it continues to move off toward the west-northwest to the south of Mexico. The latest analysis from the University of Wisconsin confirms that the greatest convergence and vorticity in the low levels is associated with the intertropical convergence zone in the eastern Pacific, so we are keying in on the correct area. And the latest wind shear chart reveals that much of the deep tropical Atlantic is unfavorable, and if anything were to develop in this region, it would take a very extended period of time, much like Tropical Storm Sean. Again, it originated from an upper level low, and it is somewhat rare for those upper level lows to fully acquire tropical characteristics, but if they sit around in one place over warm waters long enough, there is always that slight chance. And this is now the 12Z run of the Canadian CMC. It has backed off on the idea of development to some extent in the eastern Pacific. However, it still shows that system trying to get its act together by day 6. And much like yesterday's run at this time, it was showing a area of low pressure trying to get going across the central Atlantic, and it's showing that solution once again today. It's still more than likely being overdone, considering that the CMC has a bad reputation in doing this type of thing. But it is interesting to note that this is the day 7 GFS forecast, and much like the CMC, both models are alluding to at least the outside chance that we get some type of subtropical or tropical storm development in the central Atlantic within 6 to 7 days, and the GFS is still continuing the probability, or at least the above normal probability, of eastern Pacific development during the middle and latter half of November. The 12Z run of the ECMWF model is also hinting at the possibility of both of these tropical or subtropical systems trying to form. This is the day 5 forecast. The low in the eastern Pacific is only down to 1009 millibars, so this is still likely below tropical depression strength. And much like the CMC and GFS, it is trying to develop a weak 1011 millibar low just to the east of the Lesser Antilles. But the one difference between the ECMWF and the other models is that this area of low pressure in the central Atlantic appears to quickly get caught up by a cold front and is going to deepen over the northern Atlantic, but more so as a cold core non-tropical system by day 8. So we still have a couple areas to monitor in the tropics, but even if both were to form, it is currently unlikely that either one of these systems will pose a major threat to land, but we will have another video update on both of these systems by tomorrow afternoon.